Hello, I'm Jeremy, and this is my channel. Today, I just kind of want to talk about a little bit of work-life balance type stuff. Most importantly, using reflection in your life. And one of the biggest things that I have an issue with is when my reflecting happens at the wrong times. Where your brain just kind of says, you're going to go ahead and reflect right now. It does happen. And sometimes it can happen at the wrong times. It happens, when you're sleeping.
Hello?
It happens like when you're taking a shower or when you're reading a book or something. It just seems like there are times when the reflection happens when it's not supposed to be because your brain starts to bring it up. Like it just comes out of nowhere. It's like, hey, I got this great idea. And usually they are great ideas, but you got to know how to use it and not have your time become so obsessed with that situation. So like, especially when you're sleeping, that's the worst time to have it happen because then you wake up and then you're awake because you're thinking about this thing that you came up with and then you're awake. What I kind of want to talk about is just how I reflect, because we all know reflecting is important. Try to find things that you can improve on. Oh, let me just think of one that happened the other day. So I woke up in the middle of the night and I got this idea because a lot of my students are having trouble still with knowing how to get information from text, especially when it involves like nonfiction involving infographics and diagrams and things of those natures, and how to even tell what those things are and why they're important in the text that you're reading. I use a lot with my kids. I have level readers. The kids are required to read them 2 times, and then they have comprehension or text feature-y type of questions that they have to answer. So, middle of the night, I woke up and was like, you know what? I need to teach my kids how to do this. Obviously, that was the wrong time. That was the wrong time for me to come up with this idea, but it happens. I feel like my beard is crooked. But it does happen, and it's just the way things are. And so I woke up, had this epiphany, reflecting on how my teaching is going and if I'm being effective or not. I was like, you know what? I acknowledged the reflection. So number 1, you want to acknowledge the reflection. When it happens, acknowledge it. It's not gonna go away. So you might as well just acknowledge it. Doesn't mean you sit there and you dwell on it, but you acknowledge it. Or step number 2 is to write it down. You can write it down on anything. So I have all kinds of journals and notebooks. I have so many. I got this one from Dollar Tree. This one here was free, I think, or something. And then these ones here were free. So these are like just notebooks that I got. I came with a pen and they were free for like a local hospital or something. Or you can buy like a big, nice bound journal. Or you can get these little cheap little ones from like Target or something, or Walmart or whatever. They're like $1. You get these little notebooks. If you're not a paper and pencil person, that's okay. You can do it digitally. I use it digitally all the time. So what I usually do is I have on my phone, I have my Google Suite. And in my Google Suite, all I have is I have Google Docs, I have Tasks, I have Google Keep. Like if I'm having an idea like this thing that happened, I went into Google Keep. So like saying it's an idea for a TikTok or a YouTube. Or if I'm not using that one, then I also have Google Tasks. Like I have tasks that I need to be doing. So if it's a task that I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, oh, I gotta remember to do this, like the thing with the nonfiction text features, I know that I need to print off posters and things for nonfiction text features, and also how to read a leveled reader. So I went ahead and I added that into my tasks. Another thing I can do is I can use Google Docs. I use Google Docs to go on and kind of like when I did this video and stuff, I planned out exactly what I wanted to talk about. You can use your iPhone Notes app if you want to. Another great thing is like, especially with your phone, you can say, hey Siri, make a voice memo, and then boom, on my watch, I have an option to record. So let's say I'm in the shower. I can't use a pen on a paper. I don't take my phone with me into there, but my watch is with me. So I just talk to Siri, say, hey, could you do a voice memo? And I record it. Then I can go back and I can read through my thoughts. Step number 3 was to jot down some ideas. If you're jotting out ideas like on Google Docs, notes, if you're doing a voice memo, say everything that you want to say. Don't just say like work-life balance, and then that's it. Because when you go back to look at it later on, you're not gonna remember what your thought process was. So jot down some of your thought process. So you're just jotting down stuff so that way you can go back. So I'm not writing paragraphs or anything about it, the idea, I'm not reflecting on all that stuff. I'm just, or like doing all the research. I'm not going behind and getting onto teacher pay teachers and getting posters and finding activities that go along with it and all these things, or doing research on YouTube for things that I need or whatever. All I'm doing is I'm getting out my writing of some sort where I'm going to write this down at. But again, don't go into great details. I'm done, I'm going back to sleep. Or I'm done and I'm going to go back to read my book now. So, but I just took that couple minutes to jot it down really fast so my brain can shut off. Now, for step 4, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to go back and you're going to schedule a time in your day of when you're going to go over that stuff that you wrote down. Okay, so you're going to say, okay, so normally I have my prep time at 10 o'clock, and so I'm going to sit down, or in the first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, I'm going to go in, I'm going to sit down at 7:15, and I'm going to go through and get this planned out. And so I have my device with me. That's why a lot of times it's great to do it on your phone, just because it's always with you. And if you use Google, it syncs to your laptop and all that fun stuff. And you can just have that time that's set apart for you to do the actual work of the reflection. But you don't want to just leap, okay? So just to recap everything, make sure you acknowledge the reflection. It's going to be there anyway, so you might as well just acknowledge it. It takes away a lot of the anxiety and the other stuff that goes along with it. So just acknowledge it. Write down quickly, like in quick little notes, what it's about. Okay, what was the reflection? What are you reflecting on? And then if you have some ideas, jot down some notes on the ideas really quick. Again, top 3 to 4 minutes, maybe 5 at the most. I try to do like 2 minutes if I can. And then the last thing is plan a time for you to go back and look at your notes that you wrote down. So I hope that helps you guys out. That's what I like to do. It just helps me so I'm not constantly waking up with anxiety. I make myself have enough anxiety. I don't need to do that to myself too. And I think this will help a lot with your work-life balance, because you are not taking your work life home and reflecting during your home time when you're supposed to be down and not doing a bunch of teacher stuff or wherever you work at, and we're doing that there. All right, I hope you guys liked what you saw. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, click the little bell notification to get notified every single time I post. Follow me on my Instagram and TikTok that's listed down below. And until next time, please don't forget to always be you. Bye.